The Mozambique Central Bank recently hiked rates by 300 basis points. What's going on there?
So it's quite disconcerting, right? The rest of our markets are pretty much cutting interest rates or pretty much entered 2021 keeping rates flat and significantly low. We saw this hike from the Mozambique Central Bank, and according to the statement that they released, they're concerned about inflationary pressures. They, however, did not give us their forecast for inflation over the course of this year or next year. A couple of things that we decided to do, Neville, is we created a composite index that combines what we're seeing in terms of the medical weakness relative to the ZAR. We looked at international food prices, just a general index, but also specifically focusing on cereals. We tried to combine this as well with local pump prices just to get some sort of gauge as whether or not there will be inflationary pressures. And we could see clearly towards the final quarter of last year, entering into early this year, we can expect inflation to tick up, but it doesn't warrant a 300 basis point hike.
Well, tell me then, what then is your forecast for inflation for 2021?
Well, I think this year we're definitely going to find inflation hovering well below 4%. I think that's our average that we're working with for at least for 2021. We will see a few months though where at least my expectation is inflation will breach that 5% mark, specifically in the first half of the year, just adding on to some of the pressures that I've already spoken to. But if you just need to add on additional disruptions, if you need to consider the fact that they're still recovering from a cyclone, I think what we found as well is that the effects of the pandemic has meant that the logistical services across Mozambique have been greatly disrupted. So you should see some price pressures coming into the market.
Well, given the preemptory hike that we saw from the central bank, what then is your focus for rates over the course of this year? Remaining flat?
For this year, we expect it to remain flat. I think, like you aptly stated, it is quite preemptive, at least in our view. We see that they're going to keep rates at these levels, probably going to be very little monetary action that we're going to see from the central bank. Potentially, they will give us guidance later on in the year with respect to how they're seeing growth and general inflation picking up. But I think they're quite comfortable at these levels, and this will likely be the strategy that they take for the rest of the year.